Hi, and welcome to Cooking with Kids. I'm Sarah, the Children Needs Services Librarian with the Spruce Grove Public Library. And in this program, you're going to meet my family, my husband Dave, and my kids, Sutty, Monty, Ozzy, and Theo. Cooking with kids can be a crazy experience, as you may have already found out yourselves from doing this with younger ones at home. But the memories they make and the hands-on learning that they take away from being involved in food prep and meal planning can last a lifetime. It can also lead to a foundation of healthy eating habits. So more suggestions and tips for this can be found on Canada's Food Guide online. So go ahead and enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the last Cooking with Kids for the season. Today we're going to do a baked fruit dessert. Going into summer here, this is a great one that you can just do on the barbecue. During the rest of the year, if you want to do it in your oven, feel free. But this one kind of all started about a year and a half ago for us, in that we were at the farmer's market and the lady at the fruit stand said, "Oh, you should try barbecuing these nectarines." And we did, and it was delicious. And since then we've done it with all sorts of fruit, and it works out rather well. So there's all sorts of toppings, different things you can put on them, but the kind of basis is you kind of cut some fruit in half and you bake it and or barbecue it. And you put a little bit of sugar or cinnamon, maybe a little oatmeal if you want it to be like a crumble. Oh, I guess I should introduce my helpers. Anybody that's been watching over the last while has probably met all of them. But this
Hello.
is Ozzy and Theo.
Hello.
And up front here is Monty and Suddy. So, how about everybody pick a fruit? What would you guys like?
I think I'll have
Okay, pick one.
I'll have this one.
Okay, we got some mangoes and some peach lovers. I'm going to show you guys how to do it with some apples and pears as well. But yeah, you can do it with most fruits. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare these, and the barbecue's already been warming up, and we'll go put them on there for a little bit, and then after about halfway through the cook, we'll add some other things to it, like sugar and our toppings. So first up we have a pear, but we will leave the skin on. First, here Ozzy, look. We're going to cut it in half. See the inside?
Yeah.
Now for a pear, you can cut it down a bit more, but we're trying to keep these in halves as much as possible. So we're going to try to just take out the stem and the core. And we're going to use a spoon on this one. Hey, Suddy? We just use a spoon to remove the guts, or the seeds, and the stem part. You know, the parts you really don't want to be eating. You can use like a little melon baller or something to get it out if you want. But yeah, basically that is it for these, for the pear. So we're going to have that one. Let's put it on here. And I'll do the other half.
Dad, so
I think I'll make this one for Mom,
Dad,
okay?
are you having... Oh.
I think we'll make this one for Mom because Mom really likes pears. How about apples? Do we tend to keep the skin on apples
Yeah.
when we eat them? Yep, we do. I'm going to do it with this one. So we'll half it again, and once again we're trying to keep it in big pieces, mostly because we're cooking it on the barbecue. If you're doing it in a little pan in your oven, then you could cut them up smaller. Now for an apple, it's a little more difficult. You could try to use a spoon. Look, you can try to use a spoon, but it's kind of a bit harder. So I'm going to use a knife, okay? So make sure you guys are either really good with a knife or get Mom or Dad to help you. All your fruits you can kind of have to prepare just a little bit differently, okay? So there's our apple. And you know, we're going to take that a little bit.
My baby.
Now we're going to get into your guys' peaches and mangoes, okay? So we'll do one of each first and then go from there. So there's the apples and the pears. Okay, who's got a peach I can use?
Study.
Suddy, can I see your peach? Okay. So now this peach, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut it in half. And now, peaches right now are out of season. It's springtime. So we got some here. They're kind of smaller and not as super delicious as the ones we get here from BC come August. So that is by far the best time to be having them. And those type of peaches are a special type of peach called a freestone. The freestones, literally the stone inside, the seed, is loose from the peach. So you really don't have to fight with it too much. But this peach, we might have to fight just a little bit more. Oh, there we go. There's half of it. Now, because it was such a pain, we'll just trim out this other half. But the Freestone ones, like I said, are big, they're crazy juicy, and crazy delicious. All right, so we got our peach, all right? And then, who's got a mango I can do? Monty, you're gonna volunteer your mango up first. Now mangoes are a bit of a special one. Mango seeds are big and flat and skinny, kind of like a pancake in the middle of this giant big round fruit. So you have to kind of look at it, and you look at which way it is kind of longer here. And that's the way the seed's gonna work. If I cut it this way where it's kind of like this, you're gonna hit a seed basically everywhere throughout the fruit. So we take this, I guess first we should peel it, because mangoes have a very thick skin, don't they? So we'll peel the mango. Now for all of you people that have peelers, feel free to use those. I spent most of my youth peeling fruit for canning season. So you end up using knives that are a little bit quicker. But whatever's safest for you. Some people like to just set them flat and trim off the... I'll try it this way, so whatever works. So to avoid the seed, if you go right in the middle, you'll hit the seed right away, which we did. If you go off to the side about a quarter inch, you will miss the seed. And same thing here, instead of going right in the middle, we go off to the side just a little bit. Just a little bit more. And there it is. So there's your mango. What we're gonna do now is, if you're doing this in the oven, you could put your toppings on and things right now and just leave it in the oven to bake for about 20-25 minutes. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go get it on the barbecue to start softening up, and we'll put our toppings on a little bit later. All right? So we'll finish getting Ozzy's peach and Theo's mango ready, and then we'll take it up to the barbecue and go from there. All right, we're here to put them on the barbecue. I'm using my pellet smoker or pellet grill. You can use regular barbecue. You just have to be conscientious when using regular barbecue of stuff kind of falling into the flame and that sort of thing. So you might be better off, say, setting the fruit in the middle of the barbecue and only having, say, your outside burners on, so that juice and oil and sugar and stuff isn't falling into the flames. But, you know, honestly, you can just put it however you want and just monitor it. If it's really causing a lot of flare-ups and fires and stuff inside, then you'd kind of have to move to that approach. One thing that may cause those flare-ups is what I'm about to do, so it's up to you. Most of the time I do it without any butter. Sometimes I do it with some butter. So I'm gonna actually just brush on the face of them for now. So we're gonna take over stuff, and for this go-round, we're going to set it face down, because when we flip it over later and put our toppings on, the face will be kind of up, and that's kind of what holds all the fruit in place, or all the sugar and toppings in place. So for now, we're going to place them first down so that they can kind of get some nice grill marks and cook face down. So now we're going to let those sit for about 10 minutes or so until they get some grill marks on them so they look tasty. Yeah, and then we have to flip them over. We'll put our toppings on, and then we let them sit in here for about another 15 minutes or so. Basically, you're wanting the fruit to cook so it gets nice and soft. So, depending on the size of your fruit, if your peaches are this big, they're going to take longer to cook than peaches that are this big, right? All right, we just pulled our fruit off the barbecue after 10 minutes of being face down. As you can see, if you zoom in a little bit, Sarah, it is all grilled on the one side. On the other side, it is not. So we're still going to cook that side, and because the fruit isn't quite soft yet, so we want to bake the fruit. So what we're going to do is we're going to set these up and put our toppings on. We're kind of making like a fruit crumble kind of dessert. So a big part of what we're doing will be with some brown sugar. For those that don't know, a nice handy way to keep your brown sugar soft is by putting a piece of bread in it. And it really doesn't take long. If you accidentally, oh man, I left it in there and it's all hard, you can put one in there and literally like an hour later you have soft brown sugar. Now if you don't want to use brown sugar, you can use things like honey, or on something like the pears and the apples that are a little more basic, you could use something like, say, maple syrup. That adds a little more of a different flavor dynamic. But honey would work as well on all of these very well. So I'm going to do these ones here. I got the pears, I got one mango here, and I got a couple of apples. All right. Well, different fruits, different flavors. If you're doing something tropical, things like mangoes and pineapple and such, you could put things like a chipotle seasoning on if you want a little bit of spice, along with your sugar, as well as you could have like a little bit of lime juice, which would actually taste very nice on those. If you're doing something more basic like pears or apples, you're going to want to stick with things like a little bit of cinnamon, nutmeg, and those things taste amazingly delicious on the tropical fruit as well. But first thing you want to do is you want to put down a fairly, and realistically what I would consider a reasonably heavy layer of sugar. Depending, or like a nice coating. It's all going to melt with the fruit juice and everything in it, so, and drip down and things like that. So here's our mango.
And some for you.
And some for the pear, yeah. Is that Mom's pear?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you wanted to have it as a healthier option, you could do it, like I said, with a little honey, or just not with sweeteners at all and just bake the fruit, and it makes a really nice soft fruit that you could have with a little bit of cream or a little bit of ice cream or something like that. But yeah, so here I have those on. I'm going to do with one of the pears and one of the apples. I'm going to make it even more like a little bit of crumble, and we're just going to put a little sprinkling of oatmeal on it, if you want to have a little bit of that. Okay. And then I think the other thing I'm going to do, I have one piece of mango here, so on that one I'm going to add a little bit of that chipotle seasoning. Not too much. And on that mango, we'll finish that one off with a little bit of lime juice to make it a little tangy, because mangoes aren't actually very tangy. They're very, very sweet if you got them when they're nice and ripe. So this apple, I got one with a little bit of oatmeal, one without. And we're going to use a little bit of cinnamon. Now cinnamon depends on how much you trust your cinnamon shaker. You might want to dump it out or use a spoon or something so you don't overdo it by accident. But we're just going to grab a little bit here. We're going to sprinkle a little bit on top of the apple. And you know what? I'll put these pears over here too, so the camera can see them a little better. And I'm going to do the same thing with the pears, because cinnamon and pears and apples and mangoes and things taste really good. If you don't much like cinnamon, you could try some nutmeg, or just go without. So really depending on your flavors. So what do you guys think? Does that look pretty good?
Yeah.
So these are going to cook back in the barbecue, and all this sugar and stuff is going to melt, and it's going to cook and kind of cook with the fruit, and it'll be delicious. So, Suddy, you can start off. You can add a little bit of sugar to yours if you want. Here, I'll dig some more out of here. You're going to try a little chipotle. Be careful with it, because chipotle is spicy, right, Monty?
Yeah.
So if you're okay, here, I'll put a little more in this. Where are you at? Oh, that's cinnamon, Monty. Don't do that. That's a lot of cinnamon. So cinnamon is a spice. Nope. That's way too much. Okay? You won't be able to eat it. Okay? Cinnamon, you want like this, just a tiny bit. That's all you want. Anything more than that, you'll probably I don't know, throw up. Anyways, I'm gonna wash this off, okay? We're at the spot here, we can just wash them. It's not really a big issue.
Mama, just
Okay? Not really a big issue, because we're going to put it back in the barbecue, okay? Here, look out. Here's your other mango. Okay, here, Monty, I will grab, there's a little bit of cinnamon on this plate over here, okay? And that's all we need from the cinnamon, okay? All right, so we're done with our toppings. On mine, I went with a little bit of brown sugar, chipotle seasoning, and lime juice on my slice of mango there. On the pear I was getting ready for Sarah, we went with, on one we just had a little bit of brown sugar and cinnamon, and then on the other we went with brown sugar, cinnamon, and a little bit of oatmeal. And we did the same thing with the apples. Suddy, what did you put on yours?
I put some cinnamon, and then I also put some brown sugar.
Okay, now that's very tasty. How about you, Monty? What did you choose?
I put some oatmeal, brown sugar, and some cinnamon on one, and on the other there's cinnamon, brown.
Was there sugar on that one?
Yeah, brown sugar and wine.
Oh, is that the one that looks like all the sugar already melted there? Is that the one you put lime juice on? Cool.
Dad,
What deal?
it's going to be your one.
Huh? I was going to have some apples, I think. But What did you have on yours? On your mango here, Theo?
First I had it brown sugar, cinnamon, oatmeal, and then brown sugar, then oatmeal.
Oh, double brown sugar and oatmeal. Sounds delicious. What did you have on yours, Ozzy? What did you have? You have a peach, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and what did
I
you
had
say?
lime, brown sugar, and cinnamon on both.
Lime, brown sugar, and cinnamon on both? Ooh, sounds tangy or zippy. The lime should add a nice sour flavor to it, and I know you love limes. So, all right, we're gonna go put these back on the barbecue there for about another 10 minutes, and the fruit should be nicely baked and soft then, and then we'll eat it with a little bit of whipped cream or ice cream. And all right, so we're just putting them back on the barbecue here, with all the toppings facing up. Here, Ozzy, let me put your peaches back on. Okay, yours will be the crushed peaches. All right, so we're gonna leave those for about another 10, maybe 15 minutes, depends on how well they cook. The peaches are a little bit smaller, so they might only take, the 10 minutes here. But the pears are a little bit bigger, so we'll just check and see how soft they are in 10 minutes and go from there. What's that?
So I had some.
He ate some of the ice cream. Well, it's pretty tasty. So as you can tell, we have got it served up with some ice cream here. It is a nice kind of hot dessert, kind of same thing as if you had hot pie or hot crumble. And you can basically do it with whatever fruit you want. You can do it with pineapple or apricots or plums. You can do it with nectarines. Yeah, be creative. We're getting into summertime now, and it's a great time to use the barbecue, or if you're camping, you could just do this on the fire. It'd be really, really good. Very simple, very kind of basic, and doesn't require a lot of tools. So if you're doing it in the oven, that's fine, you can do that. My temperatures on the barbecue, we were sitting around between 300 and 350 degrees, and I'd say that's your target. If you're doing it in your oven, you'd be aiming for that probably 350 degree mark to be able to do this in about 20-25 minutes. So anyways, dig in, guys, enjoy, and let me know what you think of your different toppings, okay?
Thank you for watching Cooking with Kids, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Public Library. We hope that you enjoyed this recipe and are inspired to try it yourself at home. This was our last video in this current series. We have really loved sharing our food creations with you this season. Stay safe and have fun in the kitchen over the summer. And don't forget to sign up for the Summer Reading Club. It really is for all ages. And so it's goodbye now from us.